and getting to the place to where you guys can have shared vision and values, that helps you all to be able for the rest of your life. It helps you all to parent together. It helps you all to have a stronger intimate relationship sexually. It helps you to have a stronger relationship concerning just your hopes and dreams being accomplished within your relationship. And so I believe that we have to get to a place to where we're learning one another's differences, but that starts with first kind of understanding yourself.
Right.
And I think that that was one of our biggest challenges when we originally started dating.
See, the thing is, we were 18 years old when we got married. Mm-hmm. And so we kind of had to grow up really fast. Mm-hmm. We were 18 years old when our first son or our first child was born. So again, we had to grow up really fast. So we really didn't have an opportunity to kind of get to know ourselves. Mm-hmm. That kind of came later.
Yeah. So here we are trying to figure out ourselves and at the same time trying to merge together a relationship that we have to figure out as well. Like every marriage out there, and I think that this is a huge point, every marriage out there has a unique identity. Mm-hmm. And so even though you guys can glean things from us, and you may have a favorite couple that you kind of admire or you look up to, and you're going to be able to glean things from them. Like you can get some advice from them, but ultimately you have your own journey. Yeah. Your home is going to be different. I think there are universal principles that apply to us all. Like every spouse should love their spouse, right?
Yeah.
Every marriage needs forgiveness. But you guys are going to have to see your values uniquely. Mm-hmm. Your passions are different than mine. My passions are different than yours. There are some places where they intersect, and usually where we have extreme agreement and unity, that part of life is like really easy. Both of us have a spiritual value. Like one of our values is spirituality, and so keeping God first, going to church. Like for us personally, that was easy.
Right.
But then we have different values that where we clash quite a bit. And so it's in those areas where we don't share the same values that ultimately we have a lot of dissension and division. Values are not just like what I want to eat today. You know what I mean? They just don't change. Values are like deeply rooted in us. It's how we see the world. It's our entire framework of how we see the world should revolve around us. And so for me, I'm a learner, by nature. I want to work out like all the time.
All the time.
And so, athletics, going out, having a good time, these things are like really big for me.
Like his definition of a day off for just relaxing is reading like a thick book.
Yeah. That's a great day.
That's
and so for her, she likes adventure. So she wants to, always be going out, doing something exciting, traveling and seeing the world and so on and so forth. So we have to figure out a way to facilitate that rather than to suppress it. And I'm not wrong for having that desire to learn. She's not wrong for having the desire for excitement. But we have to figure out how to meet each other halfway, work that out in the budget, work that out in our schedule, and make sure that we help to facilitate what the other person wants and hear them. And so I think the University of Us becomes really big because it's your opportunity to teach them what it is that's unique about you, which means you have to actually express it, right? You can't expect for them, you can't assume that they're just going to get you, right? Because they don't see how you see. They don't believe everything that you believe. Everything doesn't just click. And I think that's one of the biggest mistakes in marriage is we just expect relationships to just work themselves out. And it doesn't. It takes work. It takes class work. It takes learning about one another on a very intense level. And so I have to be able to teach what my heart is, and she has to be able to learn what my heart is. And at the same time, she has to be willing to teach what her heart is, and I have to be willing to sit down and learn. And then we say, okay, now that I understand who you are and you understand who I am, let's build what's going to be us.
The University of Us.
Fantastic.
Yeah.